I mentioned the headlines to begin the show. It's the Chris Jones situation. And I want to elaborate a little bit more on that stance and that situation because I know that for a lot of people, we talk about Chris Jones and the Kansas City Chiefs and what's going on there. He's obviously holding out, he says, until week 8, potentially, if he doesn't get the contract he wants. So he's not going to play for potentially the first 8 weeks of the season, which is just about halfway through the season. A lot of people might look at that and be upset. Not a good team player, risking a lot of situations and things going on in Kansas City. However, my stance on that is that I'm fully supportive of it, and here's why. At the end of the day, from his perspective, he already is a 2-time Super Bowl winner. He already has become one of the best defensive players of this generation. He's almost locked in to go to the Hall of Fame one day. All that's left for him to really do is make that money. And him taking continual breaks in the money just does not make much sense. So I know from the Kansas City Chiefs aspect, yeah, you should probably pay him. You have 3 really, truly, I mean, the line, yes, is there as well, but 3 core guys. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones leads your defense. If I was the Kansas City Chiefs, I would be making sure that I pay Chris Jones because he's one of those core foundational, one of the best players. And I think when you look at it, in this Tyreek Hill situation, I still think that was one of the best ways that anything could ever work out for 2 parties in that Tyreek Hill and Miami Dolphins and Kansas City Chiefs situation. When we go back a year ago, we all knew Tyreek Hill was special. We all knew Patrick Mahomes was special. But what we did not know, or at least was not quite familiar with yet, was how good could Patrick Mahomes be without one of, if not the best receivers in all football. And at the same time, how good is Tyreek Hill if he doesn't have the best quarterback in the NFL throwing him the ball? Well, we see Tyreek Hill go to Miami. They still win a lot of games, at least when they were healthy. Tyreek Hill puts up his career best season, produces at the level of debatably the best receiver in all of football last year, and he does just great things with Tua Tagovailoa as his quarterback. Well, as Patrick Mahomes, you eliminate the great weapon that Tyreek Hill was, and he still wins a Super Bowl and wins MVP and has debatably his best season. So it worked out for both parties. So if you're Chris Jones, you're looking at this like, well, I've already done my part. I know where I'm going to go. I can't really achieve too much more in the game of football. Obviously, only more sacks and whatnot, but I've achieved whatever I want. I got my rings. I got 2 of them, actually. I already am a corner piece, a foundation of the Kansas City Chiefs. All I need is money at this point. And, of course, keep winning more and more Super Bowls and whatnot, but we're talking about getting generational wealth. And he has the potential to do that. And I'd like to ask a lot of people. A lot of people say, well, take the $10 million pay cut. Take whatever you want. Would you do that? Would you do that? And I ask that because I don't think it's not a very wise business decision. Let's be honest here. If you were offered $30 million or $20 million, which job are you taking? I think we all know what that answer would be. Now, maybe if you love a situation so much, you might be willing to sacrifice a couple million. But $10 million, I don't think too many of us would ever consider doing that financial burden that we'd have to take on by not taking on that $10 million. Nobody would do that. And I think sports is the only world that we really look at and say, this sport is where these guys need to sacrifice all this money so the team can be successful and this, that, and the third. And I see where you're coming from. But the fact of the matter is, why not just get that money now? For Patrick Mahomes, people say, well, he is taking pay cuts. Yes, he is an incredible team player. He and Tom Brady both master this philosophy of let's not get paid as much money. But let me ask you this. How many commercials do you see Patrick Mahomes in? Do you think we're going to see Patrick Mahomes post-NFL career? Probably. Patrick Mahomes is in countless commercials. He's probably one of, if not the most endorsed athletes in all of America. And those endorsements are not going to stop when he retires. That money will be coming in even larger. The endorsement money that Patrick Mahomes makes is quite significant, and that is going to continue to impact how much money per season he is making. While on the other hand, when he retires, he's going to have opportunities such as Tom Brady has to sign a record-setting deal to go and broadcast or talk games or be on a show, whatever it might be. He will also still have commercials bringing in money. Chris Jones likely will not have that opportunity presented to him, nor does he have it currently. He does not have many commercial endorsements. He's not bringing that much money. So while Patrick Mahomes on paper in the NFL is taking a massive pay cut, that is true. He is bringing in tons of money endorsement-wise and will continue to do that throughout the remainder of his life, most likely. Chris Jones, that's not the case. Chris Jones, what he's getting right now is pretty close to what he's actually earning in total. He's not getting much endorsement money, and when he retires, likely he's not going to be making too much more money out either. The only position that you can pretty much guarantee will make money if you're very, very good is a quarterback. Wide receiver, let's say two, and corners possibly, but really just takes unique personalities outside of that. There's not many defensive players that can last that long with a personality. There are some, don't get me mistaken, but I'm not sure that's going to be Chris Jones. Therefore, if you're Chris Jones, you've achieved everything that you could possibly want as an NFL player. It's all right there. And on top of that, you just need that money. So if you could go somewhere and be still somewhat successful, be on a playoff team, do your thing and get them sacks and do all that while making generational money, getting that $30 million that he's looking for, I think. I would do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And nor should I think that Kansas City Chiefs fans should be upset that much. Kansas City, in fact, should be the ones paying Chris Jones because he deserves that. And that's what I have to believe is the big topic when it comes to Chris Jones. And I do believe that while there's going to be a lot of different ups and downs that go on with the situation, hopefully he becomes a Kansas City Chief and remains there for the season. I think that if he does, obviously that's going to be huge for the Chiefs. They have a chance at going deep into the playoffs, potentially going back-to-back again. That would be spectacular. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs need to pay their best defensive player and one of the cornerstones of that entire team. That's what my take is on that. And so I 100% agree where everyone's coming from on those. But I think at the end of the day, Chris Jones needs to go get his money and hopefully the Chiefs pay him and that situation gets settled.